Hello, everybody, and apologies for a couple of minutes delayed today. I have a few technical issues linking to my group this morning for some reason. Should never go on holiday. Anyway, welcome back to another live stream. And today I'm introducing Kate Fox from Fox Graphics Design and Marketing, and she's going to tell us all about how we integrate our brand across all our social media. As I'm sure she's going to tell you, your brand is not your logo. It's much bigger than that. So she's going to be sharing some top tips, but she's going to apologise. Apologies so far, Kate. You've hurt your wrist, haven't you? And so she's
kept me awake all night.
You've been awake all night. So anyway, I'm going to hand you over to Kate. She's going to be showing some great tips. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for lots of social media tips and advice every week. If you've got any questions, please do post them in the chat as we go along. And again, if you're saying, do say hello. A few of you have said hello already. Hi, Kerry. Hi, Louise. Oh, and Phil. Hi, Phil. So nice to see everyone. And yes, thank you everyone for saying hi. And now I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Kate.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. My name is Kate Fox from Fox Graphics Design and Marketing. I'm going to give you my killer sentence, which is actually part of my branding for my company, which is one of my first tips. And then I'm going to go on to a little bit about me. But basically, my killer sentence, which is you must use this on your branding, on your marketing, and keep it the same words as much as possible so that you don't deviate, starts like this. What do we do? Right. We guide companies to be noticed and raise their game by using design, brand, and marketing strategies, which enables their businesses to triple in turnover and get ahead of their competitors. Took me about 5 goes to get that, but every time, sorry?
It's very impressive. It's good.
Thank you. I have it, well, I'm going to explain where I put it, but every time either myself or one of my associates or the staff is presenting themselves or they're talking, they say the exact same sentence. And it's a little bit, and I learned this from a man in New York, and he refers to it as like branding a cow. Every time you press your brand or your logo or your marketing message onto a cow, if it was different each time, you would end up with no brand at all. And that's where branding came from, on cattle.
And you'd lose all your cows because you wouldn't know which ones were yours.
Well, exactly. It's going back to the basics. It's very simple. So if every time if you have different logos or if you have different marketing messages, every time, it's okay, you can deviate a little bit, but if you can get it exactly right each time, people will remember. They'll probably get sick of it, but that becomes repeat part of your branding. So I've started with my killer sentence, which is my first point, branding. Before I go into 6 tips, you can say that was one of them. A little bit about me, so you get an idea of who I am and where I've come from. Many years ago, I had a very successful career in the hotel and catering industry. I got to operations manager overseas and in the UK for 4 or 5-star hotels and specialising in food and beverage. I did 13 years of that and decided 100 hours a week was no good. I also had training experience and overseas recruitment experience. So I then went I got married, had my daughter, and I found myself in my mid to late 30s, getting divorced. I had a 4 or 5-year-old little girl, and I thought, what do I owe? And I also had a major operation, which had a 2-year recovery after it. So when my daughter was about 8, I thought, what do I do now? And I thought, well, I'm not going to go back to hotels. So I went to my local college, and I thought, well, I have to learn how to work computers and the internet and all the rest of it, because whatever job I was going to do, that was going to be part of it. So I did a year of basic sort of how to switch on a computer and some secretarial stuff. And then at the end of that, they said, what are you going to do next? So I did a psychometric testing, and it told me I had to be a graphic designer. And then it listed all the qualifications I had to do. So I gave myself 1 year, and I thought, right, I'll have a go. I'd always been a creative. It's not a problem. That's part of my makeup. So I gave myself a year, and within 4 months, I had learnt. It was a nightmare. I had a massive headache, and I had got to the stage where I had, within 4 months, I had conquered all the Adobe programs, because I've been using PCs. I then had to use Apple Macs and all the Adobe programs. And I was at the college, and they were giving us projects, and I couldn't understand what it was they wanted me to do. And then this light bulb went on after 4 months. And I went and spoke to my tutor, and he said, and I said, I get it. I understand what it is now. And he said, you will never see anything. You'll never look at anything in the same way ever again. It'll change your life. And it has. And that is the difference between a true designer and somebody who's just doing things on the computer.
Yeah.
So 6 years later, I ended up, well, 5 years later, I decided to pursue this. I wanted more and more and more. And I was bringing up my daughter at the same time. And 5 years later, I came out of Manchester Met University with a first-class degree in graphic design.
Wow, that's not an easy task either, getting it first.
Now, and I was bringing up my daughter and working and teaching in the evenings at the college on the courses. So I then said to my professor, well, what do I do? Do I go and make coffee in an agency somewhere? And he said, don't be silly. He said, plough your own furrow. So I said, does that mean I have to set up my own business? I don't want to work for myself. I don't want to do that. And he said, yes, because I had all this background business experience in hotels and training and recruitment. I had the skills that the others didn't. So that was 12, 13 years ago. And I started Fox Graphics Design and Marketing. And it was the 2008. And nobody told me it was the beginning of a recession. So I just worked and worked, and I did it, and I did it my way. And here I am now, and 12, 13 years on, and this, it's a bit like Groundhog Day, we started again. But we've had fantastic clients. We have fantastic clients. We've done super work. So that gives you, and I'll stop you about me now, but that gives you a little bit of a flavour of how I got to where I am now.
And I think that's really important, that story, because obviously we're in the midst of another lockdown here in the UK, and a lot of people are getting quite nervous. But there's a huge opportunity as well. And don't they say most millionaires are born during a recession? Not that I want to get anyone's hopes up, but realistically, everyone's online. And if you're not online, and if you're not being active, and you're not, like you said, when you launched, it was a recession, but so what? You really went for it. And I think that's really important, because some people will give up and go, oh my goodness, what we're going to do. But actually, the best business people are the ones that forge ahead and go, it doesn't matter. What I've got is of value to people out there. And it's about getting that name out and that brand.
Exactly. And switch off the news.
Yes.
Don't listen, just do your own thing and follow forwards. So branding, well, I've already mentioned the first point, which is a marketing message, which encompasses what you do as part. The first part of it is the pain, the benefits, that the pain of the customer, what you do for them that solves their pain. The second bit is how you do it, which some people call like the aspirin, and the outcome is the third bit. And I do this on my workshops. The third bit is what you achieve and you get at the end of it. So my clients, I wonder, what do people achieve? They get a good branding, they get a good logo, they represent themselves, their companies, they're up their game. But what they actually achieve, and what we have case studies to prove, is they can triple in turnover and get ahead of their competitors. And those are the two things, really. People want to make money, and they want to be ahead of the game. So that's how it breaks down. On social, so I use that. This leads into my second tip, which is I use that on my profiles on social media. So in LinkedIn, it's on my profile. I also have put it I've embedded it into, and I think this is the main thing most people think about branding on social media, is use your background header on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I don't think on Instagram they don't really have a header, do they?
No,
they have, but
Twitter does. Yeah,
and Twitter.
Yeah.
So generally, use that space. If you've got a big blue space at the top, that's a visual waste, because you need to have something, even if it's just a picture of something that relates to what you do. And we create banners, that are the exact size, with the message, with your branding on. And if you look at mine,
free advertising board, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So you need to be doing that. And on my LinkedIn one, I actually have my killer sentence on the top of it, so that, and the hardest thing is trying to position it so that wherever your head is on the profile, you're not hiding the words. And that's the skill of setting it up.
She attended one of your branding workshops, and you helped her write a killer sentence.
Yes, Kerry's. I helped her with that, and she's actually put hers up everywhere, and it's also on the top of her banner. Brilliant. So every time people see her on social media, they see her killer sentences. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Yeah.
So we've got background headers. One thing I think from a branding point of view, we always think of the logo, and that's very important, and it's in your colours. But also people forget that they are their own brand as a person. So on social media especially, make sure you've got a nice picture of yourself on your profile. Have it so that there's a clear background, or a nice background where your face is facing forward. They can see your eyes and you're smiling. Some people have their children on, and some people have weird and wacky pictures where their eyes are looking down, or that are, at the end of the day, if you can get a nice profile picture, and take a bit of time and get a nice one, don't just whop something on, and that is part of your brand. Now, Fox Graphics branding, guess what the colours are?
Red, by any chance? I know, it's so lovely and bright compared to me. I look really great.
Look, I've even got a red chair.
Fabulous.
Red and black and grey. So I do like pink though, but most of the time I do tend to wear my colours. So people are always, oh yes, that's Kate, those are the colours. So second point was the photo. I've said that, yes. Company pages, excellent place to put your branding. So you would have your logo in the little round or square, whichever it is, whichever media you're using. You have your logo in there. The profile, and also your header. The profile on most of your social media, the headline is a super place to put your branding in words. So think of your message, think of your brand, the voice and the benefits, and you'd be surprised how many characters you can get. If you keep typing, you'll see when you go in, especially in LinkedIn, if you go into that, and I'm sure Bex will explain this as well in more detail, but try different things out, but try and don't do it from selling yourself, do it from why people should connect with you and why people should want to work with you. And those are the key words, part of your brand.
It's really important. So on LinkedIn, you've got your header under your personal profile where you put a few words. And on Instagram and Twitter, you've got your bio, your business bio. And then on Facebook, you've got that little about section, that little info section that they've just changed recently. And again, what businesses don't do is they're not consistent. They don't put that same information across them all. It really should read quite similar, shouldn't it? So that when anyone's jumping on your social media, they know exactly what you do through your killer sentence or anything like that, just by reading that first summary.
Yes, that's true.
That people see.
People don't think that words are part of their brand. What we do in the workshop, we also look at where if we got it further down here, we look at the tone and the voice of your business. So the words that describe your company, your product, and your ethics. So it's not a bad idea. So if you think about, if you were to ask if people were to ask your friends what the words that would describe you or your business, those can tend to be the right words for you to put up. And if you don't like the words, then you need to start changing your messaging, because you're not giving across the right the right brand. So that was one of those. The going back to social media, also the featured posts are quite good on LinkedIn, where you can tag if you've got a really good post and you want to keep it. So when people go, especially if it's got a lot of information about your company, your brand and your logo and stuff, I use that quite a lot. I pick a post and put that on the feature. So when people go on your profile to check you out, because that's what they do, that's why they instantly see they've got a visual as well, and detail and information, and they get a sort of a look into the inside of who your company is by what other people said and the rest of it. But you're helping them to get to know you, which is part of your brand. Next tip, I think I've done about 4 so far. On posts, I try to use images with my logo and my web address on. Actually, the pictures, I'm able to do that because I've got all the programs, but you can do it yourself as well. There are programs out there that you don't have to pay for, or you can pay someone like me to make a set. And I did this for a physiotherapy company, and they have about 20 hashtag images with their colors and their branding and an image as well. And if in doubt, they can pull those up and use those as a sort of an image that goes with whatever they want to be talking about. So those are quite useful.
A pile of graphics to put on the images.
Yeah. And you can also use those for putting your testimonials and your quotes on and things like that. So
social media as well is you may create some really good graphics, but people can actually, although they're not supposed to, they can actually download those images. So if it hasn't got your brand or your website on those images, then people can pull them off and say that it's their content when actually in fact it's not. So much better idea to make sure it's branded like
yes.
You can. Doesn't get lost.
So what else have we got here? So I've talked about the tone of the voice, and that's a whole nother part of the marketing and the branding, and we go into that a lot in detail. But I've mentioned that. Now, video and animation, fantastic on social media, and I put my money where my mouth is. I invested a few years ago in 3 Fox graphics, Follow the Fox animations, which are on my website. They're all over the place, on my website, my profiles. But the engagement rate on animations is fantastic. It is costly. There are other ways of doing it, but if you want, depending on what your business is, it depends on how you want to present yourself. If you are a very high-end business, or you're a luxury item, a luxury ticket, or you want to present yourself to a certain level and a certain target market, then you need to invest in having something that looks professional. And having done it myself, and that's why I get business, because I put my money where my mouth is, and basically my animations have got my branding all over it, because my logo morphs into a fox made out of letters, and then it goes on a journey, and it has all the keywords. It has testimonials on the first one. I have one that goes globally, and I have one which is all my services. So I highly recommend animation. And then the other one is video. Another social media loves video at the moment, and
live video particularly.
Exactly. Again, I've put my money where my mouth is. 2 weeks ago, I've been building up to this, but I'm starting a campaign, and I was told they needed a video of me introducing myself so that it was popping, and so that when an MD opens up a video, they look at this, they don't have to read a bio or go through my website or anything. It's there in their face, and me introducing myself and talking and everything. And it's 90 seconds. And it's going to be released either this week or next week on social media. So watch this space. I'm wearing this top as well, my new top. It's all branded, but that has got my branding on it. You know, it's got the sign of my front of the front of the studio with my logo on. It's got me talking with my brand. It's got my killer sentence and some of the work that we do, and it ends on a call to action at the end. So that is pure branding, and they're super. Again, it's cost me some money, but I will milk it for every penny I've paid. And that's what it's worth investing in these things, because you get so much more out of it instead of trying to do it on the cheap or with little things. The videos on your phone are pretty good as well, so you can do things with that. So that's video and animation. And I think the last point, I think I'm up to 6 or 7 now, is colorings. Clothes we've mentioned. You are your brand, and your staff are your brand. So how they behave and how they speak and the tone of their voice is all they are always representing your company. So bear that in mind. So I hope that's helped.
That was really good. And actually, I just seen an article this morning from the BBC, and they're clamping down for exactly that point. All their staff are being told that they need to remember that even if they're using social media personally, they work for the company and therefore representing the company. And I think that's really important. People often forget that than the likes of particularly Facebook, because you've got to have a business page. You can be talking about your business, but potentially, if you've allowed your business page to be linked to your personal profile, you can link straight back. And so you've got to remember, is my personal profile private? And if it's not, am I happy sharing this content with potential clients? And I think that's really important. Yeah. Yes. No, they were really, really.
Hope it helped.
Thanks, Kate. If anybody has got any questions, please do put them in the chat. But no, I think that's really good, and actually a really good reminder for me, because I was just thinking actually some of those that, you know, I probably need to remind myself and do those as well, because we're all so busy, aren't we, in our work, that we think we've got our marketing off for a tee, but you've got to keep revisiting it and analysing it and seeing how it's doing. We both work in marketing, we know how important it is, but again, trying to practice what you preach sometimes it's quite difficult. But no, they were really good, so thank you for those.
No problem.
Well, again, if you're watching on YouTube, please do give this video a like and a share. And if you're watching this after the live stream, please do post any comments in the chat, because I will respond to them afterwards. And I know Kate runs a number of workshops as well, so do keep an eye out on her website. Do you want to say what your website is, Kate?
Oh, it's www.boxgraphicsdesign.com.
So please do visit Kate's website there. Yeah. And I've got with regards to up and coming workshops on the road to Christmas, I've got 2 workshops coming up. I have got my Facebook advertising workshop, so if you need help to understand how to use Facebook advertising, on the 17th of November I'm running a workshop online over Zoom, and we will basically, I'll put the link in here, but basically by the end of the week we do an hour each day, and by the end of the week you'll have an ads campaign up and running. So that's quite a good one on the run up to Christmas, particularly as lots of people are having to shut the doors at the moment. So I will put share that link with you. And join me next week. I've got a whole host of really exciting live streams coming up over the next few weeks, including Chris Bain from Chatbots. He's going to be talking about chatbots with social media and how you can use chatbots to really help with your marketing. So do tune in every Monday at 12:30 for lots of social media tips and advice. So thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week. And thank you very much, Kate, for joining me today. It's been great.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.